touchdown.
Hello and welcome to X-Play's Holiday Buyer's Guide. Let's hear it for commerce!
Woohoo!
During a bad economy. I'm Adam Sessler.
And I'm Morgan Webb. They should get comfortable, pay close attention. We have got an hour-long show that will solve all of your shopping woes. They're great.
All of them. We're really good that way. Now, if you have a clueless loved one, they need to watch this special. No one wants a copy of Kane and Lynch in their stocking, not even IDOS.
They really don't. Now, coming up, we answer the burning question on the minds of music fans. Rock Band 2 or Guitar Hero World Tour? That's a big one.
It's a toughie.
Yes.
It's a toughie. And over the next hour, we're going to tell you what games to buy for every single platform. Even the PC for that shut-in uncle you never talked to.
There he is right there. Plus, X-Play slaves or staff members, whatever, will list off their picks. You should listen. They're a jaded, grumpy bunch who have to review Barbie Horse Adventure sequels all year.
Really angry. Now, for that special jerk face in your life, we've got you covered. Games for gamers you hate. And in the interest of saving money, we've got cheap games that everyone will like.
No, but first, here's some advice on what to buy someone who already owns a George Foreman grill.
Now, a couple of years ago, receiving a PlayStation 3, I'd have been liking to getting a gigantic piece of coal. But things have picked up considerably for the triple, and you no longer have to buy Blu-rays to make yourself feel like you're getting your money's worth. There are plenty of great games worth grabbing right now for the PS3. Making a holiday shopping list for the PS3 turned out to be pretty easy this year. There actually weren't that many must-have games for the system in 2008, but the ones that made the grade were all AAA titles.
I wonder how much of that has to do with the system.
Take, for example, Resistance 2, which may go down in history as one of the most beautiful first-person shooters this year. Who knew that San Francisco would look so nice as it's blown apart by horrifying mutants? But it's not all about looks this holiday season. This sequel improves on the original's control and weapon selection by leaps and bounds. If you have an obsessive otaku on your holiday shopping list, look no further than Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots.
Snake!
This installment manages to wrap up most of the bizarre questions raised by Solid Snake's labyrinthine backstory.
Snake, we've got to go.
And it does so while pushing the PS3 to the technological limit.
Yet again, our paths cross.
But what if you're shopping for someone who hates Japanese ultraviolence? You may be better off getting them Little Big Planet, also known as one of the most creative games to hit the market since we first uttered the words next generation. And then there's BioShock. Before you accuse us of recycling this from last year's list, we would like to point out that the PS3 version just came out this October.
I know he'll be an angel soon.
So if you know someone who hasn't played this yet, now they really have no excuse. Especially if that person is you. Shame on you. Our final recommendation for all you PS3 owners is Valkyria Chronicles. If you haven't already heard of this game, well, you aren't alone. Tactical RPG set in an alternate universe versions of Europe can be a tough sell.
Yes. Oh, I know.
But this one is worth your hard-earned dollars this holiday season. Not only is the gameplay rock solid, the game features a striking visual style that resembles a Winslow Homer painting brought to life. Yes!
Alright, when you're a hardcore gamer, there's nothing more grating than going into a store and watching a clueless mom ask for Metal Gear on the 360 or the DS version of Little Big Planet. How could she not understand what exclusive means? Well, thankfully, our next batch of recommendations will lessen the confusion. So here's our list of multi-platform titles worth your hard-earned scratch. It was nearly impossible to trim our holiday shopping list of multi-platform games. If you're lucky enough to own several systems, you'll be happier than a truck driver in a meth lab. Fallout 3 comes from the makers of the Elder Scrolls series, and it'll definitely feel familiar in a good way. Their open world philosophy is a great fit, and this pick will keep you occupied for over 100 hours if you choose to finish the copious number of quests and try for the alternate story paths.
I'll take that as a compliment.
There isn't much left to say about Grand Theft Auto 4, except this. If you're buying for a loved one, this is the surest of bets.
Might is right.
Unless you're getting a game for a young child. In that case, you should buy the Manhunt 2. Anyway, GTA 4 delivers on the promise of a next-generation sandbox game with a staggering amount of missions, mayhem, and freedom. Mirror's Edge may just be the birth of a brand new genre, the first-person free-running game. Just don't give this game to the motion sickness prone. If you can stomach the action, this is an exciting game that feels like a welcome breath of fresh air.
The flow is what keeps us running, keeps us alive.
For the sports fan in your family, Madden NFL 09 is, well, the sports game.
Let's go down to the field for the opening kickoff.
But trust us, if there were ever a time to get into the series, it's now. They've added so many extras on top of the already rock-solid gameplay that this is hard to resist. Plus, holographic John Madden. Take that, CNN.
Couple of good blocks, and he could be off to the races.
Left 4 Dead is definitely our favorite zombie killing simulator this year. There always has to be one. Excellent shooter mechanics meets Night of the Living Dead. If you don't have a smile on your face already, there is definitely something wrong with you. Speaking of undiluted joy, Lego Batman is a virtual time capsule which will effortlessly transport you back to your childhood. The combination of grin-inducing cooperative multiplayer and stream of never-ending fan service is not to be missed. Far Cry 2 takes the basics of the first game and adds the kind of depth normally reserved for an RPG. The new setting of Africa is just the beginning of the changes to the series. With the additional side quests and subplots, this feels like a massive improvement to the original.
Come find me at Mike's Bar later.
If you miss the traditional survival horror genre, Dead Space is a welcome blast from the past. Except this modern title features high-def graphics, true jolt-inducing scares, and innovative new weapons that give meaning to the phrase strategic dismemberment.
We are always receiving emails, telefaxes, and carrier pigeon messages, which are awesome because the pigeons can be delicious.
They poop on my head. Apparently that's good luck. I don't know why. I got poop on my head.
I hate hearing that, but we get these questions about our favorite games, and it gets way worse around the holidays.
Now, in the interest of complying with the 12th Circuit's ruling, we're legally obligated to present you with full disclosure. Here's round one of our X-Play staff picks for 2008.
For the holidays, you must buy, for the Xbox 360, Fable 2. It's just a complete, beautiful world. And you know what, right now I'm getting blackmailed for bigamy. I mean, I don't know what they're so upset about. Both my wives look the same. I mean, you can barely tell them apart. So, I mean, I don't know what the big deal is.
Hey everybody, 3 games I gotta recommend are Grid, Mega Man 9, and Left 4 Dead.
This holiday season, the family that slays together stays together. That's why I picked Left 4 Dead.
I really wanted to choose Left 4 Dead, but I think a lot of people chose that. So I'm actually, because people are going to be with their families around the holiday times, going to go with Rayman, Raving Rabbit's Tea Party.
My staff pick for this year is Dead Space. Thank you EA Redwood Shores for making an amazing game. And just between you and me, Dark Sector, also really fun.
So my pick is Warhammer Online, The Age of Reckoning. I used to be a World of Warcraft guy, but now I've moved on to bigger and better things, and so should you.
My pick for the game for the holiday gift guide this year would have to be Fable 2, because it is far safer to have sex with a prostitute named Bruno virtually than it is in real life.
My pick is Viking, because there's nothing better than bearing an axe in the forehead of the husband of the wife you're about to have non-consensual sex with.
You can go old school, recommend Yakuza 2 for the PS2, and actually Yakuza 1 as well if you can find it, and just go out and buy it so they can bring Yakuza 3 on the PS3 to America.
If I had to choose between Little Big Planet and Fallout 3, I would choose Fallout 3 because I like guns.
This year I recommend Dead Space.
You have no idea what the insurance premiums on a zombie are. I don't know why we have them around. Anyway, we're going to have a lot more staff favorites coming up later in the show. Now, as evidenced by the Spore DRM fiasco, PC gamers are not to be messed with. They're a surly, feisty bunch that can turn on you in a second. But don't worry, with our picks, everyone goes home happy. PC gamers have the potential to win big this holiday season because Santa has a ton of great options to choose from. Provided you have a gaming rig with enough horsepower, you'll be spending a lot of time with these picks. Speaking of steep hardware requirements, our first recommendation is Crisis Warhead. This is an expansion pack, but thankfully, it doesn't require a copy of the original to run.
Theft is a crime.
And the best part is the discount price tag. Crisis Warhead is available for less than $30.
So much for the Geneva Convention, eh?
As long as we're talking upgrades, The Witcher Enhanced Edition is more than an old game with a fresh coat of paint.
You could try some of your famous magic.
It sports 2 brand new quests, shorter load times, and re-recorded dialogue. The Witcher now at least 30% witchier than before.
I sense magic. There's a sorcerer among them.
Spore is sort of like 5 games in one, and the overall package is an amazingly ambitious achievement. The charming character design and thriving community makes this an appealing choice for all age groups, genders, and alien races. If you're buying for a truly hardcore strategy gamer, go ahead and put Sins of a Solar Empire at the top of your list. It features deep tech trees, challenging AI, and an elegant interface that they are sure to fall in love with.
I'm already there.
But that isn't the only space-based strategy game on the market. Galactic Civilizations 2 Twilight of the Arnor is a highly recommended 5 out of 5 with good reason. It's an expansion that adds countless tech advances and toys to play with, plus improved content creation tools for your pleasure. But if you like your strategy games loaded with cheesy cutscenes, Command & Conquer Red Alert 3 is the choice for you. I mean, for God's sake, it has Sulu.
We have resurrected our realm, creating a new empire of the rising sun.
What could make it better? How about the addictive old-school gameplay of years past, plus a campy time travel storyline? The best guilty pleasure since Eggnog.
Do what you must to be victorious.
Coming up on X-Play's Holiday Buyer's Guide, we've got the Nintendo fanboys covered with a simple checklist of what to get on the Wii and the DS. Plus, we've got big sequels, inventive RPGs, and blood-soaked action vests and our suggestions for what to buy for the Xbox 360. Then we break down all the titles that are worth grabbing for the noob gamer in your life, as well as the lumps of gaming coal you should be leaving in the stocking of the veteran gamer you hate. And later, even more recommendations from the always trustworthy X-Play staff. All that and more. Stay with us.
This is everything we've been fighting for.
I want to gorge myself with a sense of fulfillment till I vomit.
Welcome back to X-Play's special hour-long holiday buyer's guide. Now, do you have a special member of your family that disappears in their room for days on end?
Do they hate sunlight, social interaction, and currencies other than gold pieces? Then you, my friend, might have an MMO fan on your hands. If this is the case, these are the gifts they'll love.
When it comes to online games, we here at X-Play are a finicky bunch. Out of all the year's releases, we're only recommending 2 choices. They're both great games, and they both feature sexy elves. Warhammer Online Age of Reckoning has emerged as one of the few viable challengers to the juggernaut that is World of Warcraft. In fact, we liked it so much, we gave it a 5, thanks to its strong career classes and enjoyable public quests. When it launched, the game had some bugs and glitches, but they have mostly been ironed out, and the sense of community is growing and getting better with time. More than anything, we're just happy to finally have an MMO that's good enough to give us a vacation from the usual grind. There's nothing quite like jumping into a brand new online game and exploring unknown landscapes. Our other recommendation is, of course, World of Warcraft Wrath of the Lich King. Just look at that Lich King. He is pissed. But you'll be happy as a clam as you experience this comprehensive expansion pack to the MMO that will never die. What's new? Well, the level cap's been raised to 80, there's a brand new continent called Northrend, and did somebody say Death Knight? Oh yes, you'll finally be able to be a true badass in World of Warcraft. There are also a bunch of new items, quests, factions, and dungeons to try out. and you'll be able to play PvP in new zones, even if you don't live on a PvP server.
And whenever there's a groundbreaking smash-hit game release, it only takes a year or so for the endless copycats to flood the market. Such is the case with music games. If you stray far from our picks, all bets are off. For the music lover in your life, prepare to face a question so difficult it may just shatter your mind and destroy the universe as we know it. Should you buy them Rock Band 2 or Guitar Hero World Tour? Don't worry, we have you covered. Let's start with Rock Band 2. This option gives you access to a ton of great songs and the ability to import your playlist from the first game for a small fee. The list of downloadable songs is long and varied, and the online mode has been expanded to incorporate Battle of the Bands and other challenges. They also had the greatest idea ever by including a mode where it's impossible to fail. That may sound lame, but it's perfect for parties where new players just want to have some drunken fun. On the other side of the aisle is Guitar Hero World Tour. This year, the franchise has added drums and a microphone. Boy, how did they ever come up with that idea? And seriously, though, this is a worthy contender, thanks to 86 well-chosen songs, celebrity cameos, and the ability to create and share custom tunes. You won't be going wrong with either of the two games, but because of Guitar Hero's bland career mode and challenging vocals, Rock Band 2 has a slight edge. Just make sure that you don't get your loved one Rock Revolution, Konami's late-to-the-party rhythm game that features mostly cover versions of the included songs. Getting this game is like when your well-intentioned grandmother accidentally buys you off-brand toys like Latchbox miniature cars or G.I. Jeffs. Don't be that well-intentioned grandmother. When we return, we are going to tell you what's worth grabbing for the Nintendo Wii. We'll be right back.
Touchdown!
Back to X-Play's 1-hour Holiday Buyer's Guide special.
So you bought a Wii, played Wii Sports till your arms fell off and turned your copy of Wii Play into a coaster. What's next?
Well, if you're not a child who's amused by flashing lights and loud noises, the selection of great Wii games has been drastically narrowed.
Yes, like Straits of Gibraltar. All right, lucky for you, X-Play has sifted through the pony trainers and Wagglefest and found the goods. For our Wii Holiday Buyer's Guide, you're probably expecting us to recommend Wii Fit.
Feel your stomach expand under your hands.
Well, guess again, viewers. You don't need to buy that game. We like you just the way you are, moderately to severely obese.
I want to gorge myself on the sense of fulfillment till I vomit.
Instead, continue to atrophy as you play No More Heroes. This offbeat action game lets you play as an obsessive otaku who accidentally comes upon an off-brand lightsaber. If you're buying for a friend, this purchase will make you seem like a video game expert, since this gem got overlooked by many Wii owners when it first came out. Great combat, bold aesthetics, and truly bizarre cutscenes make this a real hero.
You got it, old man.
Super Smash Bros. Brawl gives you access to nearly every Nintendo franchise character you could possibly remember. And then lets you kick the crap out of them. As if that weren't enough reason to stock your stuffing, consider this. Brawl features several control schemes, a ton of new modes, and online play. Take that, Pikachu. Tales of Symphonia Dawn of the New World is a spin-off of the addictive GameCube RPG from a few years back. With hundreds of hours of gameplay, this may be the perfect choice if you're trying to avoid the relatives over holiday break. But if that sounds like too much of a time investment, maybe you should put The Blob on your shopping list. This game lets you move the motion-sensitive controller to pilot a brightly colored blob through a stylized urban landscape. Your goal is to restore color to the universe, but you might wind up having so much fun rolling your little ball of paint around that you forget what you're doing. Boom Blocks is sort of like Jenga with motion-sensitive controls and, well, lots of explosions. Although it may not look as high-tech as some of the competition, this may wind up being the party game that you and your family bond over as you digest your cranberry sauce. And finally, if you haven't already bought a copy of Mario Kart Wii, well, we don't know what to say to you. Sure, it may look pretty similar to Double Dash, but under the hood, this is a solid new racer. The addition of motorcycles, tilt-sensitive controls, and online play are all nice bonuses, but we're recommending this because of how faithfully it interprets the franchise. Mario Kart is still just as much fun over 15 years after it first rolled onto the track.
Now, on the surface, buying titles for a new gamer might seem like an easy proposition. Just grab the highest rated games on Metacritic and, you're done, right? But you need to remember, freshmen might not initially grasp the complexities of Fallout 3 or the story of Resistance 2. Some people need a simple, painless entry into the world of gaming. Remember, people, baby steps.
Buying for a gaming newbie isn't as hard as you might think. This year provided simple games that almost anyone can easily pick up and play. Our first choice for gaming virgins is Wii Music. True, this doesn't exactly count as a hardcore game, and the track list isn't anything that will make Rock Band jealous. But we're recommending this because there is something undeniably fun about the instant musical feedback your motions provide. Wii Music is an experience almost anyone can appreciate. But what if Nintendo games make you break out into hives? Well, here's an option anyone can fall in love with. It's called Pure, and it's sort of like Burnout with ATVs. This game is easy to pick up and play, and once you've mastered the basics, you can start perfecting tricks and get truly competitive with your racing. Pure, crappy name, good game. Viva Pinata Trouble in Paradise is a sequel to the addictive Xbox 360 game from a couple years back. They've added over 30 new pinatas to breed, given more heft to the story mode, and included 2 new environments to explore. The result is a strangely tactile, surprisingly fun game that casual players will like, and OCD players will love. It's the best of both worlds.
I need some work to do.
So by now, it seems like everyone has a Nintendo DS.
I know, even me. I held out until I saw the commercials of actresses playing Brain Age. See, they're just like us.
I feel such a connection with the America Ferrara person.
Okay.
Anyway, there are other things to do with a handheld besides yelling colors into a microphone or pick their chatting crew drawings of genitalia.
Here are the games that you need to buy.
This holiday, DS owners have a paralyzing number of options. Never before has the system had so many games for virtually every demographic. Here are your must-buys this year. Dragon Quest IV Chapters of the Chosen is the digital equivalent of comfort food, a well-known classic remade slightly that still feels very familiar. It's never too late to go back and experience one of the best RPG adventures money can buy. But if you want something brand new and distinctly different, Professor Layton and the Curious Village is the gift that keeps on giving. The charming world design provides an attractive framework for a wide variety of mind-bending puzzles. This game is so adorable, it's hard for even the biggest Grinch to resist.
This is all so exciting!
Speaking of quirky games, The World Ends With You is more than just a catchy title. This is a funky mashup of equal parts RPG, dating simulator, and off-kilter anime. Don't let the garish visuals put you off. This game is tons of addictive fun. Get it for the Japanophile in your family.
Watch yourself.
Castlevania Order of Ecclesia is another solid DS installment of the franchise, and it also features the welcome return of the two-handed weapon system, last seen in Symphony of the Night. If that last sentence went over your head, don't worry. All you need to know is that this is another great Castlevania game. Chrono Trigger DS is... Wait, stop. If you don't already know what Chrono Trigger is, then go buy this game as soon as this episode is over. This is an enhanced remake of a video game that is sort of the 16-bit RPG equivalent of The Godfather 2. Groundbreaking at the time for its unpredictable narrative, this version features a modern translation and updated touchscreen controls. Sonic Chronicles: The Dark Brotherhood is an RPG take on the Sonic universe. Now granted, the last 600 Sonic games have been garbage, but before you write this one off, you should know that it was developed by the masterminds at BioWare. You know, the folks responsible for grown-up classics like Mass Effect. They've infused the candy-coated world with their unique blend of role-playing perfection. Let's just hope there's no alien sex scene with Tails.
If you don't have lots of cash or fancy computer, that's okay. That doesn't mean we forgot about you.
No, every G-Bastard should probably check out good old games at GOG.com because, well, they have a lot of classic games like from the late 90s when things were really good on the PC.
Yeah, they're going to be DRM free. They're going to be $6 to $10 a piece, which is a fantastic price for some of these games, which are still good just because they're not the most brand new thing ever.
Yes. They have the original Fallout games,
yes,
the original Unreal games, so you can see where kind of Gears of War originated and where Fallout 3 originated.
Also, you get the soundtracks, you get wallpapers and manuals to download.
Exactly.
It's a good deal.
What they don't have is Requiem Avenging Angel from the old 3DO studios. Anyway, it's a game I want to play again. After the break, we tell you what to buy online, what to buy for the gamer you hate, and what PSP games are must-haves.
All that, plus more X-Play staff picks when X-Play's 1 hour holiday buyer's guide returns.
This is everything we've been fighting for. I want to gorge myself with a sense of fulfillment till I vomit.
Welcome back to X-Play's Holiday Buyer's Guide.
Now, rumor has it that half of the people who own a PS3 own a PSP. That's a one intense rumor. So a handheld game might make a good gift.
That is, unless they're one of those people who use custom firmware to download games illegally.
Then screw them.
Yeah.
Buy one of these for yourself.
On the PSP front, players are finally getting a solid stream of good games. The system may not have all the long-running franchises of Nintendo fame, but nobody will be disappointed to find these choices under the Christmas tree. God of War Chains of Olympus is quite possibly the most impressive-looking game to ever come out for a handheld system. But the technical achievement isn't the reason we're recommending this one. We picked it because this is a high-quality, full-fledged Olympian adventure that just happens to be on a portable. It's one of the first games that doesn't feel compromised by the hardware, and it's got great controls to boot.
Is there nothing else?
Despite the name, R-Type Command is not your typical shoot-'em-up. In fact, it's not really a shooter at all. It's a turn-based tactical strategy game set in the R-Type universe. The game sports 30 missions, and the goal here is to protect your mothership. That may sound simple, but there's a steep level of challenge for those who like their brains teased. Secret Agent Clank may not be quite as good as its home console predecessors, but it still contains the solid platforming mayhem you've come to love. The game lets you play as Ratchet, but the bulk of the action is carried by the series' tiny, dry-witted sidekick. Plus, there's a great variety of different minigames and challenges to choose from. Perfect for your short attention span siblings.
Clank out.
Patapon is a music rhythm game that, well, it's basically the cutest thing ever. Thanks to the game's catchy tunes and gorgeous art style, you'll be bopping your head long after Christmas morning. But beneath the visuals lies a deep game that requires a surprising amount of strategy to beat. If you have the patience, ask Santa for a copy of Patapon this holiday season.
We've recommended a lot of games in this show already, but don't take our word for it. Let's ask the people that work on the show what games they recommend. Although I guess that's a contradiction.
Hi, so one of the games I'm going to recommend is Trying to Find Your Pants in the Dark, so I've been doing that all year long. The other one is Resistance 2. It's a really fun game. It's kind of like if Roland Emmerich and George Romero had a child and the child had talent and made a video game, it would be that.
Hi, My big game this year has been Fallout 3 because in Fallout 3 I got to go around and then I started going over.
I'm recommending boom blocks and a sling.
Wee. NBA 2K9 for me.
And then in the river there were the crab people and I started running away.
My staff pick is the amazing puzzle game Braid, and I don't have a box to hold up for it, so I'm going to hold up this marker. Play Braid.
Hail to the king, baby. The Lich King.
I'm a big, bright, shiny. Oh, hello. My recommendation for this holiday season is Fable 2.
There was this guy, he was from Russia, and they had prostitutes.
Alright, I'm going to recommend Little Big Planet. I challenge anyone to play this game and not smile.
My holiday pick is Dead Space because I'm emotionally dead inside.
And they killed the Russian man and one of the prostitutes, even though I loved her.
This year, I'm playing Fallout 3.
This year, I recommend Madden 09.
Oh yeah, that's it. Get some.
They're so demented. Maybe one day we'll pay them. Occasionally you'll find someone on your gift list that you absolutely can't stand. Hold off on the violence this year. Here are a few games for gamers you hate. Guess what? It's not just Republicans who can embarrass themselves in spectacular public implosions. Game makers can do it too, by unleashing products far before they should ever see the light of day. Here are the perfect gifts to give to your mortal enemies. Golden Axe Beast Rider. Here is a franchise that precisely 0 people wanted to see revived. Perhaps sensing their apathy, developers crafted a title targeted at the narrow demographic of guys who have a fetish for watching lady barbarians ride on top of dinosaurs. Now sure, I am moderator on LadyDinoRider.org, but even I found the tedious gameplay and cheap enemies to become tiresome. The worst part? You have to use both hands to control. What were they thinking? Fracture is like a collection of games that are way better than, well, Fracture.
Is this a bad time to request a transfer?
It takes bits and pieces of Halo 3, Gears of War, and Mass Effect, and then runs the whole thing through some kind of proprietary filter. On top of that, the game's lone gimmick of terrain deformation has actually been done already in games like Red Faction. Creatively dead on arrival, this is precisely the kind of game marketing departments have night terrors about.
Copy that.
Dark Sector. Here's a collection of words that I actually used in my review to describe this game. Derivative, shameless, rudimentary, mind-numbingly tedious, limited, forgettable, terrible, slow, unsatisfying, insipid, spotty, abominable, nonsensical, interminable, pathetically limited. And I think that just about sums it up. And then there's Alone in the Dark. For this franchise relaunch, developers tried to go retro by reminding us of everything we hated about late 90s survival horror games. Dull story? Check. Clumsy inventory system? Check. Irritating item combination-based gameplay? Wow, Atari, if you wanted to hurt me, you could have just sent a messenger over to kick me in the balls. At least then I'd still have $60. Our epic fail is Star Wars The Force Unleashed. This is perhaps the greatest geek disappointment since the last 3 Star Wars films. Man, does Lucas get some sort of monetary bonus every time he makes someone sad? What an awesome business model. Anyway, the finished product is so glitch-riddled, buggy, and generally unfun, you'd swear it was made by 3DO.
You are ready to stand with me against the Emperor.
Yeah, no thanks, Vader. I'm gonna go watch the original trilogy and try to remember what a good video game looks like. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go lock some threads at LadyDinoWriter.org.
Now, thanks to the baby panda barbecue at my last birthday party, I still have to do a staggering amount of community service. It was good though, kind of gamey. So here's an environmental message. Download games, reduce your carbon footprint. That's 15 seconds off my sentence.
We have a ton of great downloadable games to recommend this year. Of course, since they're downloadable, it's kind of tough to give these as a gift. So get yourself something nice and download these games. Braid is a bracingly high-minded puzzle game that starts off simple and becomes astoundingly tricky as it goes on. Players who are persistent enough to beat the game will be rewarded by a startlingly original ending that set off a lot of critical debate. We won't give anything away, but it's the video game equivalent of the last scene in The Sopranos. Braid has the courage to respect your intelligence and the wisdom to twist your expectations and the ability to earnestly evoke bittersweet emotion. why can't more games be like this? World of Goo may have an unappealing name, but trust us, it's well worth the low price of about $15. It's a strategy puzzle construction hybrid where you build structures to reach the goal with your goo. Galaga Legions is an enhanced remake of the classic arcade game. If you're too young to remember the original, well, good. It just means that you're part of our coveted target demographic. This version features brand new weapon satellites that follow you around and limitless nostalgia for old-timers. Penny Arcade Adventures on the Rain-Slick Precipice of Darkness is a brand new creation from the irreverent minds of Gabe and Tycho. They surprised many by going for classic turn-based gameplay, but don't worry, it's not just a Final Fantasy clone. They packed in plenty of their patented humor to make it worth your time.
Cry havoc, and then you do something to some kind of dog.
Bionic Commando Rearmed is an enhanced remake of the classic NES action game. According to Capcom, several members of the original development team served as consultants on this project. There are changes, like the addition of a health bar, but mostly you'll just be thrilled to know that the grappling hook is still in full effect. Castle Crashers tells the story of 4 knights tracking down an evil wizard. It actually plays a bit like classic beat-em-ups Double Dragon or River City Ransom. The best part is that you can play cooperatively with your friends both locally or online. Mega Man 9 isn't a remake or a re-release or a port or an expansion. No, this is a full-fledged sequel to the classic blue spandex platformer. In fact, it's the first numbered sequel since 1996. Screw Christmas, right there is a real reason to celebrate.
All right, coming up, we'll tell you what to grab for the Xbox 360.
Believe it or not, there are other things to buy besides first-person shooters. Our picks right after this. Really?
Touchdown!
Yeah, I've been trying to make a Nutcracker joke all day long, but I'm just going to pass on.
No, it's okay. You know what? You're going to make it happen. You're going to make a good one happen at some point.
Welcome back to XPlay's Holiday Buyer's Guide.
If you can stop watching Netflix movies for, I don't know, a day or so, there's actually plenty of good stuff available for the Xbox 360.
Anime lovers, sociopaths, they're all covered with these picks. There's no doubt that the Xbox 360 has an amazing exclusive lineup this holiday. All of our picks for the system are quality games that will keep you entertained long after you've run out of pecan pie. First up is Gears of War 2, a welcome return to the world of chainsaw guns and terribly written cutscenes.
No!
Ah yes, nothing like committing suicide to celebrate the holiday. Seriously though, the addition of Horde mode and a brand new single-player campaign makes this one more than worth your time.
This is everything we've been fighting for.
Fable 2 is just as good as the game Peter Molyneux promised the first time around. Why? Well, thanks to improved one-button combat, enhanced next-gen graphics, and intriguing cooperative play. Our favorite addition is actually that of your canine companion. He'll follow you around and keep you from getting lonely on long journeys, and help you in combat when you need it. Oh, that's adorable. Ninja Gaiden 2 is the bloody good follow-up to the Xbox original. Did we say bloody? Sorry, we meant really, really, really bloody. But besides the entertaining gore, this is simply bigger, badder, and faster in every way. The enemies are smarter, and you'll have to really think as you react. Fans of mindless beat-em-ups will not be thrilled with this game, but for the rest of us, Ninja Gaiden 2 provides the hardcore challenge we crave.
No one knows where a ninja goes.
Too Human lets you play as Baldur in an alternate world which serves as a retelling of Norse mythology. If you're intrigued and curious, then good. If not, well, maybe you should just go buy Madden. Anyway, we really enjoyed Too Human's compelling storyline, satisfying combat, and the mind-blowing amount of character customization. Sure, the voice acting might seem corny at times.
Justice will be served.
But this game is worth putting on your wish list.
You have my oath on that.
Tales of Vesperia may not seem like an obvious recommendation from us here at X-Play. After all, it's an RPG with anime tendencies, and the storyline is predictable. But we have to admit, the game's gorgeous storybook visuals and fun characters eventually won our hearts. There's easily over 60 hours of gameplay, and there's a ton of stuff to see and do. This is a classic Japanese RPG done right. Take notes.
Get out of here!
Contrary to what you may think, X-Play is not solely produced by Adam and myself.
Oh no, we're just figureheads of the sweaty, unkept goons who really run this show.
From our dysfunctional family here at X-Play to your dysfunctional family, happy holidays and thanks for watching.
Just for you, we're gonna stand here and wave and smile.
Thanks for watching X-Play.
Today, we kick off our week-long holiday buyer's guide, which is totally non-denominational.
We've got the year's best Wii games, a $40,000 NES game, gadget reviews, and a whole lot more.
X-Play starts right now. Hello and welcome to day one of X-Play's Holiday Buyer's Guide. I'm Adam Sessler.
And I'm Morgan Webb. This week we'll prepare you for Black Friday and beyond. Every day it's great deals and great games.
Now, coming up, we're going to cover everything Nintendo. Whether you're looking for a Wii game, a DS game, or a download for the Virtual Console, we'll tell you what's the best of the best.
Plus, games for the people in your life that like touchdowns, high fives, and beer commercials. We're going to set you straight on the best multi-platform sports titles.
Then, if you're looking for some recommendations from the emotionally crippled, our staff will tell you what they're playing.
And later, it's games for rich bastards. If you've got tens of thousands of dollars you're willing to throw around for an NES cartridge, this segment is for you.
But first, a reason to dust off that white console.
Everyone has the Wii. Your parents, your grandparents, even people who actively hate the Wii have one.
That means Wii games are a safe gift, and you can't go wrong with these 5 Wii winners, or as I like to call them, wieners.
You're so proud of yourself.
Oh, yeah. Boldly going where no plumber has gone before, well, at least since the original, Super Mario Galaxy 2 is a big-time win. A 5 out of 5 from X-Play win. A 61-seat shift kind of win. Plus, in the best bit of news for plumbers since the invention of the splatter-proof plunger, Mario finally gets to ride his old pal Yoshi again. And it feels good. Real good. But like any platformer, it all comes down to the level design, and Super Mario Galaxy 2 is chock full of fun, whether you're circumnavigating a world, circumventing a baddie, or circumcising a boss.
This grass feels funny.
I don't know what they were smoking at Goodfield when you decided to turn Kirby into yarn, but wait, I actually do think I know what they were smoking.
This grass feels funny.
And much like Rubber Soul, it might have helped because Kirby's Epic Yarn is a win. Then again, when you weave together creative level design, a visual style cute enough to make baby unicorns explode, and tack on Nintendo's favorite pink suction device, how could it fail?
This grass feels funny.
I know what you're thinking. Holy my eyeballs are bleeding. And you're right, that's a whole lot of wind going on at one time. Sure, the visuals have the awe-inspiring chaos of two nebulae bumping uglies, but it's the simplicity and precision of the fighting mechanic that makes this fighter a champion. Turn on, tune in, knock out. That's exactly what we thought when we heard that Warren Spector was going to be doing Disney. But like the mad genius I'm inferring he is with the footage I'm showing over this run-on sentence, his Junction Point Studios have created a world of epic win. Disney Epic Mickey is not only epic in scope, exploring the IP catalog of one of the world's most prolific entertainment corporations, but an epic departure from the typical primary color-infused image of Mickey Mouse we've grown used to.
Jams it in!
Speaking of epic,
Boom shakalaka!
not only is NBA Jam easily the biggest, baddest, basketballiest arcade game the Wii has ever seen, but there's a mode that lets you dunk it from Russia or slam legislation down the country's throat. If only George Washington could see this, he'd probably still hate political parties, but he would sure as hell love NBA Jam. Win.
The holidays are all about begrudgingly taking plane rides to put FaceTime in with your family you're not crazy about. Sucks. You can make things more interesting by drinking yourself stupid, but could lead to disaster. Instead, kill those precious hours with these DS games.
Too much free time? Tired of having a life? Dragon Quest IX Sentinels of the Starry Skies can help. All the quality storytelling and charming characters you expect from a Dragon Quest game are here, plus co-op that is dangerously habit-forming. Plus, no more random battles means you get old-school goodness without old-school badness. Enough with that goody-two-shoes defense attorney. Ace Attorney Investigations' Miles Edgeworth puts you in the impeccably polished shoes of Phoenix Wright's archenemy for a more involved whodunit game. A bigger emphasis is placed on searching out clues and investigating crime scenes, but all the hilarious dialogue is intact. Are you a bad enough dude to sport Edgy's ruffled ascot? For the puzzle fans, Picross 3D is just about the most engrossing handheld think-em-up of the year. By following numerical clues, you chip away blocks from a rectangular stack of cubes to reveal a hidden object. With over 365 puzzles to unlock and more available for download, Picross 3D delivers great value at the bargain price of $20. If you haven't caught Poke Fever yet, Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver are the best introduction to the preteen cockfighting sim you could ask for. A remake of what is widely considered the best installment of the series, Heart Gold and Soul Silver is the optimal way to catch them all. While the biggest changes are cosmetic, the core gameplay withstands the test of time and delivers a great Pokemon experience, complete with online play. Plus, the included Pokewalker will encourage good exercise habits. WarioWare DIY is the second WarioWare game to grace the Nintendo DS. Naturally, it has all of the wacky, frenetic minigames that have come to define the series, but this time you can use the DSi's camera and microphone to create your own minigames to play and share with friends.
I get it. Look, you're an indecisive person and you can't make up your mind about what games you should buy. If our superbly produced packages haven't steered you in the right direction yet, why not listen to the recommendations of the X-Play staff?
For Nintendo Wii, I'm going to pick Kirby's Epic Yarn. It's the video game equivalent of someone telling you it's going to be alright.
My pick for the Wii is GoldenEye. You've got James Bond, you've got FPS. Put them together on the Wii, it's magic.
So my holiday recommendation for the Nintendo Wii is Gears of War. What's that? It's on the Xbox? Come back to me.
I bet you all thought I was going to say Metroid Other M for my choice, but actually Kirby's Epic Yarn, because it's precious.
My holiday pick for the Wii is Epic Mickey because it's the only thing I have to play until Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out.
Boo!
My pick is Tatsunoko vs. Capcom for the fighting game fans out there because it's fast, very well made, and it actually plays pretty well with a classic controller, so you don't necessarily need a stick.
This holiday season, I think you should pick up Epic Mickey for the Nintendo Wii.
I was gonna say that. We should co-op.
Wait, really?
Definitely.
Never mind. Keep brushing.
Oh, okay.
This holiday season on the Wii, I recommend Monster Hunter Tri, because who doesn't want to hunt monsters for 80+ hours?
GoldenEye, because everybody loves a good odd job.
I like playing Rock Band 3 on the Wii, because most of the people who own Wiis are much younger than I am, and I could tear them up on Expert, and it makes me seem like a monster. Like a giant 40-year-old Rock Band playing Godzilla.
My pick for the Wii is the Bit Trip series that just recently came out. There's Runner, Core, Fate, Baloney, who knows what.
Kirby's Epic Yarn is a must-own game. It's adorable, layers of adorableness.
What I would recommend for the Nintendo fan is Golden Sun Dark Dawn. This is an old school RPG that is guaranteed to suck your life away.
Stick around, everybody. Our holiday buyer's guide is far from over. Coming up, tiny little Wiimotes, Disney Epic Mickey gear, chargers. We're going to tell you tech junkies what Nintendo gear is worth buying. Plus, our favorite sports games of the year. Whether you like skateboarding, high sticking, or out of control gamblers, this group of games will make you want a chest bump. Even you, ladies. That would be awesome if you did it in front of me. Then, games that like blood, gore, and foul language. If you find yourself under careful parental supervision, Adam has got some great family-friendly titles. And later, games for rich bastards. Would you pay 40 grand for an NES cartridge? See the rarest of the rare and shake your head in disgust. All that and more, don't miss it.
If you want to hear what I really think about games, suddenly, at a moment's notice, check out Sessler's Soapbox. New episodes go up every Tuesday at g4tv.com/soapbox.
X-Play is coming to the tailgate tour at a city near you. Check g4tv.com/X-Play tour for even more tour dates.
It's risky to download games on the Wii. Half the time, you don't know if a game is good unless you buy it.
I didn't even know you could download games on the Wii because I never turned it on. And with no demos, you're kind of setting yourself up for a screw job. That is, unless you listen to us.
In today's X list, we're counting down our 5 favorites. Screw job?
Screw job.
Coming in at number 5 is WarioWare DIY Showcase. This is a great companion to the DS game, which lets you play your crude, vulgar creations on a TV.
Ah, validation. Number 4 is Castlevania Rondo of Blood, mostly because I want an excuse to say the word rondo. It's seldom used in conversation, Adam.
It's true. Coming in at 3 is Shadow Dancer. Ninjas, dogs, working together. Let that sink in. That concept is so good, it's inspiring me to write some fan fiction.
Number 2 is anything with the words Bit Trip in front of it. Beat, Core, Runner. Just get them all. You won't regret it.
But our number 1 Nintendo download is Cave Story. One dude spent 5 years making this crazy retro epic. Give him your money. He deserves the love.
The Wii is the best-selling console this generation, and with that comes a price. Crap peripherals. With so many Wiis in homes, scummy companies see it as an opportunity to sell useless junk to clueless parents. So do the right thing and get informed. In this edition of Tech Junkie, we'll give you the lowdown on new Wiimotes and some Disney Epic Mickey themed gear.
Okay, first thing, the Power Pack Pro Mini. It's essentially a smaller version of the Wii controls. I like it a lot for 2 reasons. One, it feels better in your hand, and it's really grippy. It just feels better. It feels like that's what it was meant to be.
I like the size and I like how light it is, and it makes your standard Wiimote controller feel and look a little bit clunky. So, you know, kind of a fun little thing to have for the holidays. Next, we can look at another fun, fancy Wii controller. This is a nunchuck. It, of course, goes with the Epic Mickey, and it's a paintbrush. And the first thing you notice when you pick it up is like, this is so light. There's like nothing in here.
Yeah. And let's call it what it is. It's a nunchuck that you already own, but it's got this Epic Mickey paintbrush skin on top of it. So it being lighter, I think, will be a good thing. But at the end of the day, you're really just spending money because you want a plastic paintbrush to paint in your Epic Mickey game.
Yeah.
So Morgan says buy it. That's basically what we're going here. And then keeping with that theme, this is an Epic Mickey charging station. I think it looks pretty cool. Even if it wasn't a charging station, this is something that I would probably buy at like an E3 and put it on a shelf somewhere.
I mean, it definitely, we should say, like takes up a little bit of shelf real estate.
Yes.
So if you're already under all the Rock Band controllers, it's a commitment. It's kind of a big machine right here. It will charge, of course, your Wiimote. If you're really into the game, you get this, you get this. It's a good package.
This is pretty neat as well. This is actually my favorite thing. This is basically the Wand Plus, and it's got Wii Motion Plus built into it. And that's cool for two reasons.
Right.
One, it doesn't have the big extension, which looks absolutely ridiculous. And two, the price point on this thing is $39.99, which is actually cheaper than buying a new remote and the Wii Motion Plus.
And it's just nice because you don't have that one more thing to lose at the end of your Wiimote. So if you actually haven't invested in Wii Motion Plus yet and might think about actually just investing in something like this, you can get it all together in a really good price point.
So I think the real big buy here, though, is this one that has Wii Motion Plus.
You can get everything in one versus having to get separate parts, which is always nice, especially when you're giving this to your kid.
Or you own animals that like to eat things. That's Adam.
Stay with us. We've got more of our holiday buyer's guide on the way. And after the break, we'll go multi-platform and recommend our favorite sports games, as well as titles that are family friendly. Then an NES edition of Games for Rich Bastards. Maybe we shouldn't have put the family segment next to the Bastards one. Anyway, we'll be right back.
It's no secret that your worth as a human being is defined by sports. Whether your local team is playing well, what your placement in your fantasy league is, and most importantly, if you're playing the right sports titles. This next batch of games is so full of win, and any superfan would absolutely love them. If you're looking for sports games to buy for yourself or for that special someone, don't you worry. Let yours truly coach you through the list of amazing titles that have emerged this year.
Are you ready?
First up is the best basketball game of the year, NBA 2K11. The presentation is impressively realistic and the improvements to the gameplay are vast. But more importantly, who doesn't want to play as his almighty airness himself, Michael freaking Jordan? Quick, get me an R. Kelly inspired montage. Awesome. Now, if hitting pucks and crashing the net is more your thing, NHL 11 is a must-buy. The physics engine is improved, the controls are complex yet intuitive, and you can now play in the Canadian League. Canada, we love you, but Quebec is going down. Montreal, you get a pass. Pigskin fans, on the other hand, can set their eyes on Madden NFL 11. The series still stands as the gold standard for all football games. With its new game flow feature, you can look forward to a much more streamlined experience, leaving you more time for extracurricular activities. Texting images of your ding-dong probably shouldn't be one of them. Just saying, Favre. For the more worldly sports fans out there, there's the other football game. We call it soccer. The rest of the world, they call it church. If you follow it as religiously as the world does, then FIFA 11 will definitely answer your prayers. It's by far the best soccer game out there today, boasting some deep controls and a phenomenal presentation. Finally, we didn't forget about you skateboarding fans. If you prefer grinding rails and landing ollies, Skate 3 is a no-brainer. The controls are beautifully designed and you can play the campaign mode with a friend. It won't land you a crew of jackasses in a 3D movie, but it's a game no fan of the sport should hesitate to buy.
Now it's time for my favorite part of the show, Sessler Selects. With a title like that, I'm sure you're thinking I'll spend the next few minutes talking about my new line of TV dinners, or maybe cat food. Actually, this segment is all about games that your entire family can enjoy, no matter what console you own. Bring on the multi-platform games. Because Plato's Republic has yet to take root, we are forced yet again to spend time away from the games we love and more time with those who share our genetic traits. To your good fortune, I have selected 5 tasty family-friendly video game morsels for the holidays. Because a family that plays together doesn't really have to interact with one another.
Welcome to the Adventure Team.
Up first, Connect Adventure comes home just in time to remind you that your family has never really had a decent vacation. Riding down whitewater rapids, floating through space, dodging panels. The most you ever did was see the world's largest ball of razor wire. I'm going to say something you never thought you would hear. Toy Story 3 is a remarkably good movie game. There, I said it, no taking it back now. The toy box mode and presentation are both rather remarkable. And unlike the movie, the video game is not a cleverly disguised prison breakout story that culminates in one of the most heart-wrenching scenes to hit celluloid. This game lets you ride around on a horse. Snoopy Flying Ace, or what I like to call Grandpa's Bad Flashback Game, takes Charles Schulz's lovable characters and pits them against one of the darkest times in human history. The speed and kinetic pacing reminds you of what a real arcade dogfight should feel like. And that throbbing in Grandpa's left leg won't let him forget what happened to him during the Battle of Hurtgen Forest. Want to find out who your parents really love? Play Mod Nation Racers. The easy to pick up and play mechanics, numerous power-ups, and the ability to create your own courses will have your siblings playing for hours. That should be enough time to dig up some dirt on them and show it to your parents.
Am I supposed to be impressed?
And if all else fails, there's LEGO Harry Potter Years 1 through 4, a game that combines all the magic of the first 4 Harry Potter books with the OCD tendencies of a LEGO game. With all the humor, crazy magic, and main plot lines of the story, even the Manson family wouldn't be able to turn this one away. So remember this holiday season that you only have one family. If you had 2, it would probably kill you.
There were 798 NES games released, and some of them are considerably more rare than others. Rare like you could list one on eBay and buy a new car with the profits rare. They may not be the greatest games ever, but they're worth a whole lot of money. These are games for rich bastards.
In 1990, the Nintendo World Championships roamed North America to find the best gamer in the land. Each wannabe wizard had 6 minutes and 21 seconds to score as many points as possible in 3 games: Super Mario Bros., Rad Racer, and Tetris. All 3 games were compiled on special cartridges that were given to the 90 North American champions. If you want to acquire one of those 90 gray cartridges, it's going to cost you anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000. Even rarer are the Zelda-plated versions of the cartridges that were awarded to the 26 winners of a Nintendo Power Magazine contest. Last year, one of those sold for $18,000. The rarest game in the NES Triumvirate is the Nintendo Campus Challenge 1991. It was similar to Nintendo's World Championships a year before, only the games were Super Mario 3, Pinbot, and Dr. Mario. There were a lot more keg stands involved, and there is only one of these fugly cartridges known to exist. It was sold for over $20,000 last year. I know 20 G's sounds like a lot of money, but the most bastardly expensive game for the NES is the NTSC version of Stadium Events from Bandai. An unopened copy of this game was sold for over $41,000 in February. Seriously, that's enough money to get Sessler to strip naked and play Kingdom Hearts with you, and you decided to buy Stadium Events. You rich, dumb, lucky bastard. Coming up, XPlay's Holiday Buyer's Guide continues with more gadgets, all the Black Friday deals you need to get, and the year's best games. If you've got an Xbox 360, listen up. We'll tell you what exclusives need to go on the top of your shopping list. Plus, it's time to break out the mouse and keyboard. We'll give some love to the PC Master Race and recommend our holiday must-haves. Then, one of life's greatest mysteries might finally be solved. Where the hell do you put all that Rock Band equipment? We'll try out the Rock Band Ottoman and tell you if it really works. And if you're itching to fill someone with lead or some weird alien ammunition, we'll recommend some amazing shooters that get the job done. All that and more, don't miss it.
Plus, some of our favorite Xbox Live arcade games.
So what you guys need to do right now is you need to go to your friends' cabinets or your family's cabinets shelves and look to see what games they have.
Yeah.
Make careful notes of what they have so that when you watch our Holiday Buyer's Guide for the Xbox and the PlayStation, you'll be able to know what to buy them.
Usually if they're over 20, those really big games like that Call of Duty,
Yeah.
they probably already have it.
Yeah, but there's a lot of great ones that they don't have, so you've got to check it out. Today, our Holiday Buyer's Guide continues with the year's most explosive shooters.
Plus transforming controllers, the Rock Band Ottoman, and insane Black Friday deals.
XPlay starts right now. Hello and welcome to day 2 of XPlay's Holiday Buyer's Guide. I'm Morgan Webb.
And I'm Adam Sessler. Now, if you think someone is going to buy you a gift, record the show and make him watch it. No one wants to end up with carnival games.
Coming up, I will save you insane amounts of money. Find out what stores have the craziest Black Friday deals, the kind that are worth sleeping outside for.
Plus, satiate your bloodlust with some must-have shooters. These 5 games will have you racking up a huge body count in no time. And as a bonus, buying them will probably piss off Jack Thompson.
Then take a break from solitary RPGs like Fallout New Vegas and interact with actual people. We'll recommend some of the year's best multiplayer games.
And later, tech junkies might finally have a place to put all that Rock Band crap that's cluttering up the living room. We'll tell you if the Rock Band Ottoman actually works.
But first, some purchases that are a no-brainer.
The Xbox 360 might not have as many exclusives as it used to in this crazy multi-platform world where developers want to make money.
But they still have some titles that make the console a must-have. Here are 5 of our favorites.
You cannot list off recommendations for the Xbox 360 without talking about Microsoft's biggest franchise. Halo Reach is the last game in the series to be developed by creator Bungie, and they definitely went out with a bang. Sure, you aren't playing as Master Chief, but stripping away the often convoluted plot lines from the original trilogy actually makes the whole affair much more focused.
Lock it down, both of you.
Plus, the multiplayer has been upgraded with a larger level creator called Forge World that allows you to make, well, just about anything.
Let's move, Lieutenant!
Mass Effect 2 probably boasts the longest running time of any game on this list. Sure, you could pull through in 24 hours, but why not stop, smell the roses, and achieve the good ending?
I would have followed you anywhere, Commander.
And if you do all of the optional side missions, you're looking at a ridiculously lengthy experience. And those are quality hours.
I got this.
Mass Effect 2 features exquisitely refined storytelling and exciting combat. If you have a 360 and good taste, you need to play this game.
It works both ways.
But if Mass Effect 2 is too futuristic for you, Fable 3 might just be the experience you need. They've effectively redesigned the combat system, giving it a much more satisfying feel. And the expanded storyline makes this feel like it's the most ambitious Fable yet.
Our hero returns!
Side quests are scattered everywhere, and it's hard to get bored in a universe that's this alive. Plus, full-featured co-op. Need we say more? Alan Wake is a tough game to sum up. Imagine a Stephen King novel come to life with a flashlight-based combat system that feels fresh. Shine it at enemies to weaken them, and then finish the job with conventional ammunition. Fans of Silent Hill will find a lot to like about Alan Wake, as the game frequently toys with the notion of perceived reality.
You've obviously been through quite a shock.
In fact, the eerie atmosphere of Bright Falls is one of the most chilling we've seen in a game. Don't hesitate, horror fans. For the most part, these 4 games are pretty adult-oriented. So what will children of all ages play this season? Well, probably Call of Duty. But if you're a responsible parent, you'll go out and buy Connect, fun for the whole family. Pack in Game Connect Adventures is a surprisingly well-rounded experience on its own merits. Other games may not be quite as good, but overall we were impressed by the accuracy and feedback of the Connect sensor. There's a ton of potential here for good times during the holiday season.
The holidays are a stressful time, and there's plenty to worry about. Seeing the family, planning on who to sleep with at the office party, and deciding what gifts to buy. If you're struggling with the gift part, listen to what these people have to say.
If you're a PC gamer, you have to go out and get StarCraft 2 Wings of Liberty. It is a must-buy.
Props to Black Ops. The folks at Treyarch did a fantastic job with Call of Duty. Loads of holiday fun. Can't miss with this shooter.
You gotta get Enslaved, because that game is not getting a lot of love, but it's great. Who doesn't want to play as a guy named Monkey?
My holiday recommendation for the Xbox 360 is Resistance. What's that? It's for the PS3? Come back to me.
My pick for the Xbox 360 this year is Alan Wake. Alan Wake marries horror and suspense in a great, fun game. Check it out.
My holiday pick is Dance Central. What better way to embarrass yourself than in front of your Connect and friends?
Mass Effect 2 because I love RPGs and shooters.
My pick this holiday is Bayonetta. And if you just don't want to spend a lot of money on a game and you want to get it really cheap and have an awesome, awesome game that probably shouldn't be, Deadly Premonition.
Halo Reach. Noble Team strikes again.
DJ Hero 2 for the Xbox 360. Because nothing's more fun than being a DJ.
My PC pick is StarCraft 2. Blizzard spent a lot of time perfecting this title. It's great for single player and multiplayer.
You should be playing Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. That game is ballin'.
I really liked NBA 2K11 because seriously, there has never been another basketball game like it, and there's never been another sports game like it.
The 360, I'm picking Mass Effect 2. Why? It's like a video game gave me a hug.
It is really, really easy to spend hundreds of dollars on Xbox Live, especially when you've been drinking a bunch and then like it's a point system, you don't actually know how much you're doing.
It's not real money, it's
not real money.
points.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna black out and download some games, maybe you should buy the stuff in this X list.
Coming in at number 5 is Costume Quest. This Halloween-themed RPG lets you kick ass as a unicorn, and yes, it's as awesome as that sounds.
Our number 4 pick is Comic Jumper. There's a manga-inspired level with tentacle humor. Admit it, you kind of want to see what that's like, don't ya?
I'll stop listening after tentacle. Number 3 is the General Knox expansion from Borderlands. You get a level cap boost, tons of loot, and the ultimate in-boss in the form of, I think it's Cramrax, I don't know because I couldn't beat him.
Coming in at number 2 is Super Meat Boy. Sure, this game will make you swear at your TV and consider throwing a controller through the screen, but it does that in a good way.
And our number 1 Xbox Live download is Limbo. It's creepy, it's disturbing, and really, there's nothing more fun than using a dead kid to solve a puzzle.
When X-Play's Holiday Buyer's Guide continues, Morgan saves. She'll show you what stores you should be raiding on Black Friday. Plus, embrace the Second Amendment and check out some must-have shooters. There's serious military action, underwater crazies, and the Damn Covenant. Then we've got transforming gadgets for all you tech junkies, a Rock Band Ottoman, a 360 D-pad that actually works, and some thumbstick extenders that can help your online kill count. And later, get some friends. We'll run down our favorite multiplayer games of the year. All that and more right after this.
Remember, you can see everything in our Holiday Buyer's Guide all over again on the web. We've got the year's best games, Black Friday deals, and more at G4TV.com.
X-Play is coming to the tailgate tour at a city near you. Check G4TV.com/XPlay Tour for even more tour dates.
Black Friday is great if you want to stand out of the cold for a discount on a TV you only sort of want. But for video games, it is the greatest day ever. Stores are selling the year's biggest and best games at ridiculously low prices. You just need to know where to look.
If you're ready to buy games in bulk, Toys R Us wouldn't be a bad first stop. They're running a buy one, get one for $5 deal on many of the biggest titles of the fall, including Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, Fable 3, Medal of Honor, Halo Reach, and Madden NFL 11. You can also pick up Need for Speed Hot Pursuit for $35 at Best Buy, along with FIFA Soccer 11, EA Sports MMA, and NHL 11. Swing by Kmart for a chance to grab Mass Effect 2 for a crazy low $9.99. That is a lot of game for one picture of Alexander Hamilton. For an insane handheld bargain, the epic DS RPG Dragon Quest IX Sentinels of the Starry Skies can be had for $17 at Target. If you know anyone heading to Old Navy on Black Friday, tell them that the first 50 customers in line get a wristband that is good for a free copy of Dance Central if they spend $25 or more. Sure, Dance Central may be embarrassing to play in front of other people, but free is free. Finally, the best hardware deal may be at Sam's Club. You can snag a 250GB Xbox 360 Slim with Red Dead Redemption, Alan Wake, and Forza Motorsport 3, all for $349. Not a bad price for 3 of the better games on the system in the last year and the new reduced Red Ring of Death model. Good luck out there, and remember to dress warm for the overnight lines. Remember, frostbite is a small price to pay for cheap video games.
Shopping for third-party controllers can be a dicey proposition, but really, what else are you supposed to do if you're not happy with the standard? Well, you can complain and whine about it on the internet, Dad, or you could just watch this edition of Tech Junkie. So because Microsoft's check cleared, let's talk about some of their products now. The transforming D-pad controller they're making, this is actually from Microsoft.
Yes, because we are used to seeing a lot of third-party controllers, and it's nice to see something new from Microsoft itself. I think the first thing that you notice is, I like
like the subtle colors, the
Absolutely.
silver. I like it.
I think it looks great.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of fighting games, you basically turn it and click it, and it turns.
Right.
It actually raises the D-pad up, and it really recreates like the old school 8-bit, Nintendo
Right,
stuff.
it's more flexible, so you're not stuck with like just up, down, side. You have like a really good full range of motion with that.
It really does enhance the experience. It makes it a lot easier to play fighting games.
What the other thing which is good is it has these concave thumbsticks, the analog sticks, and they kind of fit your thumb better. And next time I need to replace my controller, which you have to do once in a while because they get a little wonky, I'm gonna replace it with something like with that controller right there.
And then speaking of controller stuff, you've been raving about these things right here.
Okay, these things are actually kind of taking off around the internet. They're basically extenders. It gives you like a little bit more accuracy, and they work really well. And it feels maybe a little bit like cheating.
Right.
But
that's
you know
okay,
what?
'cause we'll take any advantage we can get.
Everyone's going to be using these, so you might as well pick up some, and they're like $10.
And again, for $10, why would you not buy this? I mean,
Right.
It's not like some luxury $50 item because you want 3 more kills in a match. Like, it's $10.
It's $10. Everyone's cheating, so you might as well cheat too.
Yeah.
And with that, we'll send him back to Adam, who's not a cheater at all.
This is America. If there's anything we love more than improperly raising children or denying their true sexuality, it's shooting things. In this list of must-have shooters, we cover war games, space epics, and Ayn Rand-inspired mayhem. Playing one of these will have you joining the NRA in no time. Let's get the 800-pound gorilla of multiplayer out of the way. Call of Duty Black Ops is the incredibly successful follow-up to last year's Modern Warfare 2. The campaign covers the 60s and is steeped in Cold War espionage and conspiracy lore. The multiplayer is, of course, the star of the show. It's everything Modern Warfare was, but refined, rebalanced, and honed into the best online play ever seen in the Call of Duty series. For a larger scale experience, Battlefield Bad Company 2 offers vehicle combat, large maps, and full building and terrain destruction. The rebalanced classes work better than ever, and a good 4-man squad can turn the tide of a close battle. The attack and defend rush game type is our favorite, forcing you to fight for every inch of ground. A well-written single-player campaign rounds out the package and makes Bad Company 2 a good choice for the hipster on your list who thinks Call of Duty is just too popular, man.
You all are some stupid people.
Bungie exits the Halo universe in style with Halo Reach. This prequel to the main Halo trilogy covers the invasion of the planet Reach and the destruction of the entire Spartan program. The events of the game lead directly into Halo 1. Bungie's decision to veer away from Master Chief and instead feature a squad of Spartans pays off big time. Halo Reach stands as a fitting capstone to Bungie's 5-title legacy, both in campaign and multiplayer. It's not exactly an upper, but we all need a good cathartic tragedy now and then. Explosions and plasma blasters are just the icing on the cake. We were afraid BioShock 2 would just be a retread of the exceptional first game, and it kinda is. But it manages to be a good game in its own right with greatly improved combat and a story that takes full advantage of the setting of Rapture. Playing as the original Big Daddy creates a tangible feeling of power, especially when protecting little sisters from hordes of greedy splicers. Medal of Honor delivers a similar experience to Call of Duty Modern Warfare, but with less of the Michael Bay histrionics. This is a more grounded, serious take on modern combat, focusing on realistic situations in the wake of 9/11 and the United States' initial operations in Afghanistan. Add in multiplayer made by the developers behind the Battlefield series, and you have the most solid entry in the franchise since Allied Assault.
When X-Play's Holiday Buyer's Guide continues, we'll give some love to the PC Master Race and recommend our top 5 games. Plus, tech junkies might want to check out the space-saving Rock Band Ottoman. And if you want some friends, we've got the multiplayer games that might help you make some. We'll be right back.
Video games are often a solitary experience, but they don't have to be. Multiplayer games can open you up to a wonderful world of verbal abuse, whether it be strangers over the internet or loved ones in your own living room. Share the love and try out these multiplayer games. If you love shooting people in the digital face, then Call of Duty Black Ops might be the best thing that's happened since you learned you won't go blind from masturbating. Compulsively pulling the trigger over and over again has never felt so good thanks to all the tweaks Treyarch has injected into their multiplayer masterpiece. The biggest improvement they've made to the franchise's lauded online gameplay is to bring some much-needed balance. Much like Darth Vader in The Force, Treyarch has choked out the perks, weapons, and kill streaks that have led to most of your frustrating online matches. Oh, and they have a zombie killing JFK. Street Fighter 4 revived an entire genre. Super Street Fighter 4 knocked it the out. Street Fighter 4 was already one of the best fighting games ever made, but this totally expected iteration upgrades the original with improved roster balance, new ultras, enhanced online, and some of your favorite old school fighters. If you're in the mood for knocking some online skulls together, then it doesn't get any better than Super Street Fighter 4. Or creepier than Hakan. StarCraft 2 Wings of Liberty might be the perfect RTS. After all, 48 million South Koreans can't be wrong, can they? While my stereotypical reference to South Korea during the StarCraft portion of the segment is expected, the level of detail, the variety of units, and the balanced gameplay are also expected. Why? Because it's StarCraft 2, and 48 million South Koreans can't be wrong. Red Dead Redemption's multiplayer has us grinning like a weasel in a henhouse. Forming a posse and riding across the border like a member of the Juarez cartel is a hoot. Mexican standoffs, muy bueno. Gambling against other players, aces. We've always liked Red Dead Redemption's multiplayer, but now that they've added zombies, we're grinning like a jackass eating a cactus. Trust us, that's a good thing. Where else are you going to find zombears, Sasquatch, and hordes of flesh-hungry pioneers, other than the Donner Party? Rock Band 3 might be the best party game ever, but don't take our word for it. Just ask Sleaze Palladino. Why? Because he's an actual rocker in an actual band and he says so. Keyboards awesome, pro guitar metal, the presentation killer. Be a pro mode? The best thing since Ozzy bit a head off a bat. Why? Because now if you and your living room rockers get good enough at pro mode, you can stop bulk ordering those Japanese love pillows and get some real groupies. Now that's sleazy.
Rock Band is a great game. Well, that is if you live in a giant house with plenty of space. Drums, guitars, mics, keyboards, they take up a lot of room, and if you play other music games, you're probably drowning in fake instruments. Well, we heard that a solution to this problem comes in the form of a Rock Band ottoman, and we had to try it out for ourselves. So finally, you can put those plastic instruments somewhere besides next to your TV when you terrify all the people you bring over. The Rock Band ottoman. Besides the fact that it's actually a really good looking piece of furniture.
It actually is surprisingly a nice looking ottoman.
I mean, it really is. It's really nice. As somebody who's bought a lot of fake leather ottomans in his life, it removes that clutter, it removes all of those instruments. You can store 2 guitars, the full band stuff.
And you have room for a bunch of games and a bunch of controllers. You close it all up, you stuff all the cords in there, and then you put your drink on it, and it's put away. And it's actually, they put a lot of thought into it.
It cost $180.
Definitely pricey, but it is a piece of furniture in your house, and I do like the fact that they're a little bit acknowledging that not everybody who buys Rock Band and plays games necessarily wants a living room full of plastic instruments. There is a type of gamer out there who's going to be really excited to see this.
Yeah, and it's the girlfriend of the gamer that has all the plastic instruments in his living room.
We didn't forget about you, PC gamers. You're a scrappy bunch that deserves some love, too.
They still have some exclusive titles to call their own, and in this X list, we're counting down the year's top 5.
Coming in at number 5 is Minecraft. Sure, the game's still in alpha, but don't let that scare you off. You could lose hundreds and hundreds of hours building and crafting. That's a good thing.
Number 4 is Amnesia: The Dark Descent. There are lots of so-called scary games out there. This one is no joke. You'll be rocking back and forth and crying in no time.
Our pick for number 3 is the World of Warcraft expansion Cataclysm. Azeroth has been totally revamped, giving you yet another excuse to start the game all over again.
Coming in at number 2 is Civilization 5. After a long day, there's nothing more satisfying than bringing Mesopotamia to its knees.
But our number 1 PC game is StarCraft 2 Wings of Liberty. This game already had everything, and now that Blizzard's releasing mods based on Dota, Cooking Mama, and Left 4 Dead, how could you not own this?
Coming up, X-Play's Holiday Buyer's Guide continues with a special look at even more gadgets and games. We'll take on all things Sony and recommend you the year's best PS3 games, the most addictive PSP titles, and the must-have PlayStation Network downloads. Plus, get the biggest bang for your buck and don't get stuck buying the wrong music game. We'll tell you which titles will have you rocking through the new year. Then we'll test drive some Call of Duty gear for all you tech junkies. Find out if a redesigned controller and some 5.1 headphones are worth your holiday cash. No matter what console you have, you'll know what multi-platform games make the best gifts. All that and more, don't miss it.
Plus, Blair talks nerdy comic book stuff with the capes and the fly.
So, the point is, like, if you guys know somebody with a PlayStation, or if you're a PlayStation owner yourself, it's definitely a show you want to check out next time, because we're going to have all of the info for
And
you.
there's games you may not know about. A lot of people think, oh, there's nothing for the PS3. There actually is, just you might have to dig a little bit more. And well, we have shovels. We did the digging.
Thanks for watching X-Play.
Today, X-Play's Holiday Buyer's Guide takes on the PS3 and the year's best music game.
Plus 5.1 Call of Duty headphones, video game comics, and the handheld games you need on your next trip.
X-Play starts right now. Hello and welcome to day 3 of X-Play's Holiday Buyer's Guide. I'm Adam Sessler.
And I'm Morgan Webb. Today will be the ghosts of Christmas future and show you everything that you need to buy.
Coming up, we'll recommend some multi-platform games that everyone can enjoy, regardless of what side they picked in this brutal console war.
Plus, Blair Herter gives some love to comics, as he is known to do, specifically comics for Disney Epic Mickey and Ratchet & Clank, as well as some comic book themed games.
Then, tie off that arm, tech junkies. We'll try out some new Call of Duty gear, a few controllers, and tell you if any of this stuff is worth more credit card debt.
And if you're stuck on what music game to buy, climb down from the ledge. We have all the answers. Here's a sneak preview, not Power Gig.
But first, what to buy on the PlayStation 3?
Sony's fall lineup kind of imploded, so we can't tell you to check out games like Little Big Planet 2 or the new SOCOM. Those are next year.
But we can point you in the direction of some fantastic games from the rest of 2010. They feature angry gods, roided up athletes, and a kid named Jason. Jason! God of War 3 is an eye-gouging, heart-stopping, skull-stomping monster of a sequel. Everything that we loved about the gory epic series comes to a head in this satisfying payoff for the trilogy. The soothing sounds of Linda Hunt's narration, the monumental boss battles, and the sweet satisfaction of bloody revenge.
My vengeance ends now.
All the elements come together to create a near-perfect sequel. New weapons and refined combat guarantee you'll be hooked from the opening scene to the closing credits. Heavy Rain is an interesting throwback to classic adventure games of yesteryear. Play as several characters who are trying to solve the mystery of a devious serial killer. The developers allow mundane sequences to breathe for a while, thereby setting the mood. Once you're lulled into the dreamlike atmosphere, you're thrown into shockingly sudden action set pieces.
Give me what you got in the register.
It's definitely not for everyone, but Heavy Rain is a noble, attention-worthy attempt at creating a new genre.
I know what you're feeling.
Final Fantasy XIII may technically be available on the Xbox 360, but just think how jealous your PS3 would be if you knew you were cheating on it. Although the game has been criticized for being too linear, the legendary series still provides that unique Final Fantasy flavor. Plus, you'll have plenty of time during your holiday break to pour into this 50-hour-plus game. But if bizarre Japanese RPGs aren't your thing, MLB The Show 10 may be the comforting slice of Americana you're looking for. This is one of the most realistic baseball experiences you can have without actually squeezing into ridiculously tight camps. The graphics and animation are stunningly detailed, and the online portion of the game can be as deep and rich as you could ever want. If you prefer to take a stroll down memory lane, there are 2 compilations you should stuff into your stocking. The Sly Collection is a PS3 reissue of all 3 Sly Cooper games.
The famous Sly Cooper.
These were some of our favorite platformers of last generation, and the 3rd one is playable in true stereoscopic 3D. If you prefer your nostalgia a bit more bloody, God of War Collection packs in the first 2 games. The draw here is seeing the gory action remastered in high definition. Beheadings and dismemberment in true 720p, that's what the holiday season is all about.
These days, it seems like the PSP is the Abe Vigoda of handhelds. It just won't die. Every time it seems like no one's making any new games, a great one drops into our laps. If Abe Vigoda managed to suddenly die after we tape this, we totally apologize for the awkwardness. Anyway, here's 5 great PSP games to take on the go.
Don't think Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker is just some spin-off side story. This is a full-fledged entry in the series with the added bonus of 4-player co-op. Play as Big Boss in 1970s Costa Rica and witness the creation of Outer Heaven, the setting for the original Metal Gear game. Kratos is back and is once again angry at Immortals.
The gods lied to me!
God of War Ghost of Sparta covers a previously untold chapter in Kratos' life, his conflict with his long-lost brother. This gives you a glimpse of Kratos' tenure as God of War following the death of Ares. And of course, there's a lot more stabbing. Persona 3 Portable is a streamlined and expanded version of what was already one of the best JRPGs of recent years. Now you can play as male or female, and the world is much easier and quicker to navigate. You get your money's worth too, as a single full playthrough of Persona 3 can clock in at 80 hours, and it encourages replays. Bat Princess Fistful of Cake is an updated handheld version of last summer's PSN hit. It includes the original title in its entirety, adding double-stuffed multiplayer and brand new story sequences. Rescue your beloved princess through teamwork in this comic medieval battle royale. Old-school action RPGers will want to snag Ys 7, the latest installment in the venerable series. Fast hack-and-slash combat and a huge sprawling world to explore make this a hard one to put down and perfect for bite-sized play sessions. Catchy soundtrack, too.
Call of Duty Black Ops multiplayer isn't as simple as shoot whoever runs across the screen. You also have to be listening. With good surround sound, you can hear the footsteps of those dirty SOBs that want to knife you in the back. And with 5.1 headphones, you'll be doubly prepared.
So this giant case,
It's pretty large.
this is the true 5.1 Call of Duty Black Ops official headset right here. People are very into their headsets, for good reason, because it's so much more immersive if you have a good headset. It's a little difficult to set up, but once you do have it set up, then you're good to go.
Even if it wasn't a Call of Duty Black Ops headset, it's a really good investment. This is a great set of headphones.
If these speak to you, then go for it. There's a lot of other options out there, though, and there are a lot of wireless options that are at a very similar price point.
But wait, there's more. If you want to make those headphones wireless, the Astro Wireless Mix Amp here, $130 price point. Not only does it make any headset wireless, but this is pretty cool. It can support up to 7.1 surround sound.
It is a little pricey, but if you already have invested in a quality pair of wired headphones, this will change that straight into wireless headphones.
Thank you for making it small and not annoying or obnoxious looking for my living room.
Thank you for sharing, Blair.
You'll forgive my language here, but somebody's got to say this. Some video games are sluts. They're going to show up on any platform they can, looking to wring out every last dollar from the consumer, despite the fact that they look janky and busted. But not the games I'm about to show you. No, my friends. These multi-platform games are classy and respectable-like. They won't let you down, and they won't steal your wallet where you're in the can. Fallout New Vegas is not just a reskin Fallout 3, it's a tremendous content-packed follow-up to Fallouts 1 and 2. Everywhere you look, there's something new to do and or kill, and you can spend hours doing tons of stuff and never actually advancing the main story at all. Jump into the Mojave Wasteland and kiss your free time goodbye. Platinum Games delivers one of the best action games ever with Bayonetta. Don't let this silly oversexed main character fool you. This game is tough as nails but never feels cheap, and offers the most fluid and satisfying combat in any game this generation. It's dripping with original art design and creative set-piece sequences. Throw in some high replay value and a recently lowered price point, and you have a definite winner. Super Street Fighter 4 adds new characters and rebalances the game to a great degree. Whether mashing buttons with your siblings or training for the EVO 2011 tournament, Super Street Fighter 4 can entertain all challengers. When the holiday parties are over, take the fight to the internet with incredibly smooth online play for some serious competition. If Gran Turismo 5's realism is too stodgy for your taste, try Need for Speed Hot Pursuit's blend of exotic car envy and car crash fetishism on for size. The makers of Burnout have revamped Need for Speed into a blistering action racer that captures the cat and mouse feel of the old Hot Pursuit games while making it feel new. Both cop and racer careers offer variety, and the Autolog score tracking keeps you in competition with your friends even when you're not playing together. Red Dead Redemption is one of the best entries in the open world genre we've ever seen. John Marston's story is long and interesting, and he's actually a pretty likable guy. The game is a sprawling multiplayer free roam co-op competitive bonanza as well. Great writing and acting plus the unique, perfectly realized Old West setting makes this feel different from anything else out there. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood continues Ezio's story with more leaping, sneaking, and stabbing. There's just as much to do as in Assassin's Creed 2, and tons of new things to play with, like your very own Assassin's Guild. The multiplayer is a surprisingly great addition, with tons of new concepts you won't find in any other game.
When X-Play Holiday Buyer's Guide continues, Blair talks Ratchet & Clank comics, Scott Pilgrim games, and Peter Parker. These video game comic book crossovers are definitely worth a look. Plus, we'll help you empty your PlayStation wallet. In today's X-List, we'll recommend 5 great games to download on the PlayStation Network. Then a special edition of Tech Junkie that'll help you figure out which PS3 controllers are worth a buy. And later, we'll help you with a make or break shopping decision. Which music game is worth your hard-earned cash? All that and more right after this.
For all the latest news, reviews, and whatever else is happening in the gaming world, just follow XPlay on Twitter. Maybe we'll follow you back. Then you'll really be somebody.
XPlay is coming to the tailgate tour at a city near you. Check G4TV.com/XPlay Tour for even more tour dates.
While my exterior may say strikingly handsome former MTV reality show contestant, my interior is a big, fat, obnoxious nerd. I love me some comic books, I love me some video games, and when these two things get mixed right, it's like heaven. Delicious Oreo-flavored heaven. If you got a special geek in your life, here are some choice gifts. No self-respecting funny book fan should go without Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. It's one of the very few comic book adaptations that smoothly makes the transition to the video game format. The combat is very satisfying, and the title has a strong sense of presentation that perfectly captures the feeling of the Spider-Man comics. It's out now for the PS3 and the Xbox 360.
You want this, tough guy?
If you're a Ratchet & Clank fan who loves the series' colorful universe, you'll probably want to pick up the new comic tie-in. It's a 6-issue miniseries that leads up to the release of next year's PS3 game, Ratchet & Clank All for One. That's not due out till the fall, so we're glad that there's something to tide us over. The comic is scripted by Ratchet & Clank future writer TJ Fixman, so the offbeat humor of the games is fully intact. Each issue is 32 pages and retails for $3.99. But if that's not your thing, we have a double-headed recommendation for fans of manga, video games, and hipster comedy. The Scott Pilgrim box set contains all 6 volumes of the indie comic. Each volume will run you $11.99, and the slipcase with collectible poster is an additional 10 bones. If that doesn't satisfy your desires, pick up Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the game. It features a lovingly retro 8-bit look, robust controls, and an amazing soundtrack. It's out now on PlayStation Network and Xbox Live for about $10. Fans of Disney nostalgia will freak out over Epic Mickey for the Wii. This game was developed by the legendary designer Warren Spector, and it's probably the best thing coming out for the system this holiday season. We're also recommending the Disney Epic Mickey Digi-Comics. This is available as an app for the iPad, iPhone, and iPod Touch. Inside, there are 6 8-page comics in total. The first one is free, and the rest of the bundle costs only $2.99. Enjoy.
The PlayStation 3 might be lacking in disc-based games this holiday season, but there's plenty to buy online.
We're counting down our top 5 PlayStation Network games in today's X-List.
Coming in at number 5 is Tales of Monkey Island. In this remake, you can travel back to the days of old-timey gaming, where there were things like good writing and jokes that worked.
Number 4 is Tumble. This downloadable game is kind of like the PlayStation Move's version of Boom Blocks, but it only costs a fraction of the price.
Coming in at number 3 is Death Spank. This action RPG has some hilarious moments. And what do you know? It's written by the same guy who did Monkey Island, Ron Gilbert. He needs to write more games.
Our number 2 PlayStation Network game is Pixel Junk Shooter. It's not so much a shooter as it is a game about trapped miners that aren't Chilean.
But our number 1 pick is Joe Danger. It's like Trials HD mixed with Excitebike, but without the F-bomb levels of frustration.
Buying a new controller is a tricky proposition. Do you stay loyal and buy the boring old standard, or do you get gutsy and buy something from a third party? These are the important decisions that will define your life. Thankfully, we're here to guide you through them. All right, guys, for all of you PS3 owners out there, we have 3 interesting controllers to check out. These first 2 are Nyko Ravens, and this one actually is more of an Xbox-style controller, which cracks me up a little bit. And then this one's more the PS3-style controller. So you can see on the Xbox controller that the analog sticks are actually offset like a more traditional Xbox controller. I know a lot of people complain about the analog sticks on the PlayStation. They'll say, like, I don't want to play a shooter on the PlayStation because of the analog sticks. Well, now they can stop complaining.
This is obviously the more traditional PS3 controller. I like the triggers here. I don't know why, they're grippy as well. No, it feels sturdier. It feels like I'm accomplishing something more. Like when I'm shooting something in the face now, it feels better. A lot of the complaints I think with the PlayStation controls, although they were light, they felt really cheap and you could break it at a moment's notice. I don't think you're going to be able to break these. Like, this is a really solid, well-made controller.
Now this is a Call of Duty controller. It's pretty intense looking.
It is.
It's got a lot going on. We have some extra buttons on the back so that you can leave your thumbs on the analog sticks as much as possible, and you have just a little bit of extra, this wasted fingers back here that now you're going to be able to use.
Yeah, I mean, you can actually kind of like custom button mapping on these things, which is pretty neat. One of the things that we did have a problem with, though, is these triggers right here, you can tell that there's not a lot of surface area, and they're kind of sticky. This lights up, which is cool. On the whole, I guess it's a pretty neat controller.
If you're inspired by this, maybe you should go and try it at a store. But in general, I don't know if I would run out and buy this particular one as a gift.
There you have it. Coming up, we're going to help you avoid one of the biggest landmines around and tell you what music games are worth buying. Trust me, you don't want to be stuck with a $200 turd. Actually, that'd be kind of awesome to sell on eBay. Plus, our slightly deranged staff recommends you some personal favorites. X-Play Holiday Buyer's Guide continues right after this.
If you walk through the aisle of any retail store during the holiday season, you're bound to see huge stacks of music games. Big boxes with peripherals like guitars, turntables, or microphones. And you might be tempted to buy one, but be careful. Big boxes mean big prices, and you do not want to end up with the next rock revolution. Stick to these titles. If you love video games and consider yourself quite the music aficionado, well, the year has been extremely good to you. 2010 has brought us a phenomenal variety of music games, and if you're looking to rock a party or learn how to be a music superstar, look no further. Here are a list of games guaranteed to satisfy anyone's Christmas wish list. First up is the king of all music games, Rock Band 3. With over 2,000 songs to play with, some new instruments to jam on, and the ability to actually teach you how to play music, this game is a must-buy for anyone, especially if you're an aspiring musician. Now, if you prefer your music to err on the side of shred-heavy riffs, don't worry, Guitar Hero 6 has got you covered. Complete with a ridiculously over-the-top story mode, it's the most polished game in the series yet. Also, at 120 decibels, we're pretty sure it can rupture the San Andreas Fault. Now that is metal. If beats are more your style, on the other hand, DJ Hero 2 can certainly fill the void. With its emphasis on making the mix your own, you too can revel in the bass-pounding journey that every vinyl maestro orchestrates on a nightly basis. Live go-go dancers not included. But what if you prefer more swagger and rhymes instead? Well, there's no better game than Def Jam Rap Star. You can test your lyrical skills against some of hip-hop's most classic and current hits. Rap solo, with a friend, or battle it out to prove who's the dopest MC. Finally, for those who love to move to the beat, Dance Central is the perfect game for you. You can groove along to an excellent set of songs as the Connect accurately reads your moves. Best of all, it'll actually teach you a thing or two about dancing. Yeah, that's right. Second Dancing with the Stars.
Digging that, right?
And there you have it, our recommendations for music games. No, it's okay. Don't say anything. We know. We'll just leave by saying you're welcome. Now run along and buy these games already.
I'll be a superstar in no time flat.
The people who work at G4 have to play some of the worst games of all time. They suffer through horse trainers, knockoffs, minigame collections. So when they say something's good, you should definitely believe them.
My choice for Sony is the Sly Cooper collection, because everyone should play those games.
My pick is Heavy Rain. Why? Because there's nothing else out there like it.
God of War 3 was just a great way to end the series. I'll miss you, Kratos.
My pick is Yakuza 3 because it's a pretty cool story and it's an interesting take on the open world genre that you wouldn't get from a Western developer.
Everybody on Earth should play Red Dead Redemption. It's one of the great triumphs in video game history.
My holiday recommendation for the PlayStation 3 is Mario Galaxy 2. What's that? It's for the Wii? Come back to me.
I would recommend that this holiday you pick up Mass Effect 2 because of the multiple interspecies romance options.
And I'm a big fan of God of War 3, even though there could have been more boobs.
Heavy Rain this year, definitely a title you should have checked out if you haven't already. It's a beautiful, really clever, dark, suspenseful story with some amazing gameplay.
Def Jam Rap Star. So much fun. Biggie, P.E., Ice Cube, Slick Rick.
Red Dead Redemption.
The one thing I gotta recommend is getting Goonies on Blu-ray. It's a classic. You gotta get it.
Hey, you guys!
So if you have a PlayStation 3, highly recommend Mon Nation Racers. It's kind of like Little Big Planet on wheels, adorable, tons of customization, hours of fun.
If you're tired of being a solitary assassin, you can now recruit your own guild of assassins and make them do your dirty work for you in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood.
Coming up on X-Play, James Bond, Donkey Kong, Mickey Mouse, and creepy AI pets. We've got reviews of all the fall's biggest games, including the latest from industry legend Warren Spector. Find out if the long-awaited Disney epic Mickey delivers the goods. Plus a 007 double feature. We've got brutally honest reviews of Bloodstone and the Wii remake of GoldenEye. Then we'll risk making fools of ourselves and interact with some virtual pets. We'll tell you if Connectimals actually works. And prepare yourself for a 2D throwback. We've got a review of Donkey Kong Country Returns, the first DK console game in 5 years. All that and more, don't miss it.
Plus, we'll stay up all night with Halo Reach, which is probably something I'll stay up with rather than Connectimals.
Yes, Connectimals is cute for children. Thanks for watching.